As if popcorn and a soda costing $17 wasn't enough, you're now gonna have to pay even more if you want any kind of good view at the movies. Hi y'all, Snarky J Cosplay here. So AMC theaters announced this week that they're actually going to be raising prices on preferred seats, which is pretty shocking because in recent years it feels like the movie theaters have just gotten more and more expensive. We've always pretty much known that the theaters kind of get screwed on what they make in regards to the movies, and so what they actually make their big bucks on is in fact all the upcharges at the concession stand. But for the most part, ticket prices have been fairly consistent, unless you were watching something in like 3D or an RPX type deal for Regal, or if you wanted one of those special theaters where every seat shakes. I actually went to watch Black Adam in one of those special vibrating theaters, and I honestly almost slipped out of the chair a bunch of times, so I'm not sure of the appeal. But if you weren't watching a movie in one of those special seats or special theaters, everything was consistent, and that to me feels fair. But AMC has decided, no, this isn't enough, and they're rolling out tiered seat systems. So how exactly does this new seating system work? Well, the top tier is called your preferred sightline ticket. And your preferred sightline ticket is basically anything in the middle. You know, like the actual tickets that you want to buy. Those are going to be available for purchase at a $1 to $2 upcharge. Which, I mean, $1 to $2 doesn't sound insane, but it does start to add up, especially when you're considering that they're just raising the price of something you've always had available to you for a standard rate. Of course, if you're not the preferred crowd and you want that standard rate, then you'll be entitled to standard seating. And that basically means anything off to the sides or all the way in the back, because who the hell wants to sit there? And then, almost like they're doing you a favor, they've got value seats. What exactly are those value seats? Well, the value is that you're gonna be able to really look up into the nostrils of whoever it is that's on the screen, because the value seats are the ones all the way in the front that nobody actually wants to sit in. For right now, they're rolling out this new seating system in New York, Chicago, and Kansas City, but it's expected to hit every AMC theater in the US by the end of the year. So considering that some of the theaters that are already rolling this out already show that they're really not doing a $1 increase, it's actually more consistently going to be a $2 increase for those better seats, which means that your movie ticket is now going to cost way closer to like 20 bucks, and for 3D screenings it's probably going to be almost closer to $30 for one movie ticket, which is starting to feel like if you want to take anybody on a movie date, you better really like them. It's probably going to be anywhere upwards of like 60 bucks, considering you're gonna need a pair of tickets, you're gonna need popcorn, you're gonna need a drink, you're gonna need maybe an icy, nachos if your date didn't eat before you took them out. I mean, honestly, this is getting excessive. I remember when the whole pandemic thing was going on, that the theaters were basically like crying a river on social media, telling everybody how they were in dire straits because they'd had to shut down. And then once things reopened, people really weren't going to the movies, and somehow we were supposed to feel bad for them. And I can't say that I don't feel a certain level of nostalgia for going to the movies. I remember like 11 years ago when I started getting into Marvel and Star Wars and all these different properties, I really looked forward to those Thursday midnight showings and getting in line and having to wait for your seats. They were always such exciting times, and they were exciting times had at the movie theaters. And before that, my dad actually spent my entire childhood every other weekend taking me to watch movies, and there was this guy that would do a French accent and tell me how pretty I looked because I was like little and wearing patent shoes and carrying a handbag full of candies, napkins, and toys, and it was always a really good time, and they're memories that I have fondly. But as somebody who now has to like work for money, and you're asking me to pay you $2 more for seats that I was already getting for a pretty ridiculous price, yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep streaming or go to like any other theater chain, because even though Regal is sometimes more expensive than AMC, at least Regal isn't coming up with random reasons to charge me even more money. The CEO of AMC has tried to defend this move by saying, hey, you know, when you go to sporting events and theater shows and all kinds of other stuff, you usually have to pay depending on where you're at. That to me is such a stupid comparison, because when you look at a live event, it's a live event. Theaters are not live events. They will show that same movie a million times. If I wait a couple of months, I can rent it and watch it at home, or I can stream it. If I wait a little longer, it'll probably be on cable television for free. So why would you charging me $2 more be justified by the fact that I would have to pay even more money to depending on where I'd want to sit for a concert. Somehow we were supposed to feel bad for the movie theaters and they're trying to come back, and the way to win our favor is by charging us more money. That's a hard pass. They can cry inflation and rising costs and tell us this is painful, but we have to do it. You know what? At the end of the day, everybody's crying inflation, but you and I both know that they're not adding any more to our paychecks. So if the movie theaters just get more expensive, I think America is just not going to go. It's too easy for me to cuddle up at home, take my pants off, and watch something on my couch, which is much more fun than having to go to a movie theater where screaming teenagers are gonna ruin my experience. And that's all from me. I've been Snarky J. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on AMC's new ticket system in the comments below.